Hey, Booze. Hey. Hello, y'all. Happy Friday. My dog is so funny. As soon as I start talking on my podcast, like she's trained herself to go in her cage. So she just hopped down off my furniture, my chair in my office, and went to her cage. She's so funny. Hi, y'all. Press one in the chat if you can hear me, guys. TGIF, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. And while we wait for more of you guys to come in, like always, please like and subscribe. Please comment in the comment section. This is my first live on the backup channel, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, you want to make sure that you please like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on exclusive content that I'll post here that won't be on the main channel. I'll start using this one more, and I'll share more about the plan for the backup channel in just a bit. Come on, y'all. Trickle on in. Hopefully you guys' week has went well. My week has been a pretty amazing week. Went to see Jurassic Park yesterday, y'all. Why did I sit on a wet movie theater chair? I'm hoping that it was just soda that somebody spilled. I was so grossed out thinking maybe a kid peed on the chair or something, but anyway, so I hope you guys had a wonderful week and getting ready for the weekend. I'm personally really excited because my kiddo, he is in baseball. And they just wrapped up the season, but his team has done so well, and he's been doing so well. He's been named the number one pitcher on the team and also number 3 batter, and they're going to the playoffs. So their first playoff game is tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. It should be really, really fun. He's gotten really, really good over the years, so I'm excited to watch him. Okay. So thank you so much for joining, guys. I wanted to come here to share a few things with you guys. So there's been quite a few things happening. So the universe has been speaking to me lately, y'all. I believe in divine timing. I believe in signs. I believe in manifesting. I believe in the universe sharing you signals and our angels speaking to us and our ancestors speaking to us in subtle signs. So recently, the universe has been telling me about some content that needs to be released. And so a few things have been happening. So the first thing that happened is I received an email from a teacher that I'm going to read to you guys. So, and I removed his name just to protect his identity. But he wrote, "Hello, Lexus. I am a white man who teaches high school. The high school where I teach is in Michigan, and the student population is predominantly African American. I think that the advice that you give on your channel is important, but I would like to see content for teenage Black girls. Many of these girls are more studious compared to the boys, and they think more about their future. I think that these girls could benefit from your advice because they can relate to a woman with the same background and experience. Thank you." No, thank you, Subby, for sharing this with me. I really enjoyed this message and I agreed with it. And this spoke to me. And the reason why this resonated with me is because I'm often very vocal about how I didn't have any guidance as a child, like most young Black girls, and how I really needed someone to take me under their wing. I was the only child, so I didn't have any older siblings or anything to look up to. Everyone in my family, it was the blind leading the blind. Most are high school dropouts. If they're lucky, they have GEDs. So I was a first generation college student, the first one to go back and get in my family at all. I don't think anyone has multiple degrees, or at least not a master's. Also the first in my family to be in a leadership role and to be able to advance in corporate America like I have. A lot of firsts. So investing to my family, I don't think any of them really invest, or definitely crypto, the only person in my family dabbling in that. So Anyways, that's a long-winded roundabout way of saying that I agree with this email. And I really wish someone was around to take me under their wing when I was younger to help advise and counsel me so I didn't make many of the mistakes that I ended up making. But the great thing about that is they say that adults should aspire to be what you needed, the adult that you needed when you were younger. So that's what I'm going to do with this channel, with this second channel. I'm going to make this a teens channel. And again, I've been saying I've been having so many subtle signs. You all have been requesting content like this. I've had so many women say, "Hey, I share your information and your content with my daughters, and this is amazing. This is really, really helpful content. This is useful. I share this with the young girls in my family." So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this channel, this backup channel, I'm going to direct the content towards the youth. So these older women are lost causes, y'all. And if you're 50 and you've been in Blackistan your entire life and you still ain't woke up, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But I guess you can't save everybody, right? So at this point, let the bodies hit the floor. I'm going to focus this channel and this content towards the youth because there's still hope there and they're open. And I get like a lot of Gen Z girls that say that they follow me and a lot of younger people who consume YouTube content. So that's what this channel is going to be devoted to. And last night, specifically, I did a video about that poor 9-year-old girl in Houston who had her life tragically taken from her. And I talked about how the reason why he took her life is because he was upset with the mother for breaking up with him. And I also discussed how the guy had a mile-long criminal record history and how all of this was easily searchable public information and how the mother would have benefited if she was able to research that guy and if she had enough wherewithal to know to vet and how to properly research people before bringing them around your children. And I also discussed how Black women collectively can avoid a lot of these headaches and a lot of these really not even just headaches, but because we know, it's one thing. If a man is just married or something, like you can move on with life, cut ties and move on. And you can access that information that's publicly researchable. But there's tragedies that happen as well, and how Black women can collectively avoid a lot of these tragedies by simply conducting background checks and researching public records. And I got more signs from the universe that this is information that you guys need access to. You guys, I got an overwhelming response. And several of you guys said, "Hey, can you show me how to do this?" So someone even said, "Hey, you should do a series on this." And I think that's an awesome idea. And I'm not sure where I'm landing with this concept, but I think it would be a really, really great idea to have a series where I rip stories from the headlines and show you personally how the women in those scenarios could have researched those guys and and how that could have possibly changed their circumstances, and hopefully that it's helpful for you guys. I want to share this with you guys so it's helpful for you guys so you can do the same and avoid a lot of these awful experiences that these women are experiencing. So let's do it. So, and again, you want to subscribe to this channel. I'll be more active on this channel. This will be solely devoted to the youngsters, to the young women and young girls who are listeners. And I'll share things that helped me that I wish I would have known sooner during my journey. I may even allow some Gen Z girls and younger women on this channel as well to guest host. I don't know yet, but I think that's going to be the direction of this channel. So, okay, but tonight we're going to talk about how to properly background search someone that is a potential partner. This is how you do it. So the first thing that you'll want to do, of course, in order to find the information that you're looking for is you'll need his government name. So if you're meeting someone, a potential partner, you're wanting to go out on a date and, pursue them romantically, this should be pretty easy. I don't know why you go out with anyone without knowing they're legal. But yeah, the first thing you want to get is their government name, their first and last name. And then just casually ask, "Oh, hey, are you from here?" They'll think that that's just casual conversation with you getting to know them. But actually, what you want to know is any other areas that he lived in. That way, that'll direct you on where to search. So, you'll say, hey, are you from here? He might say, no, I moved here from Tallahassee a few years back. I don't know. Before then, I lived in Chicago for a decade for work. Well, bingo, that's the information you need. Now you know all of the areas that you need to conduct background research in, okay? So the guy who ended the life of the woman's daughter in Houston, this is how the mother could have found out that he was a fuckboy and could have found out that he had a propensity towards violence. So, okay, so we know that the culprit in that story, his name is Jeremiah Jones, and that he lives in Houston, Texas. So great. So the first thing I would do if I had met him, y'all know I'm divested. I recommend divesting. I don't recommend anyone messing with these dudes. They all dusty. But the first thing that you'll do when you meet anyone is find out what county that's in. So I did a Google search, which county is Houston, Texas in? It says Harris County. Okay, so I need to research different records in Harris County, online records. What I recommend doing is searching several areas on Google. So you're going to do Harris County Municipal Court records. You're going to search probate court records. You're going to search auditor records. And then I would also search police report records. And these aren't available everywhere, but I know in some cities, a lot of cities, the police departments are so transparent. You can even access police reports online. And, this has personally helped me weed some people out. I found some police reports where, back when I was in Pakistan, where a guy had, called his baby mama crazy and said that, oh, she's evil. She doesn't take care of her son. Well, I looked at police reports, and it turns out she had called the police on him several times for breaking and entering, and also with abuse allegations. So that, for me, even though I wasn't divested at that point, I still was smart enough to know, oh, this is a red flag. And let's say the baby mama was lying and falsely made accusations with the police. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn either way. That's a major red flag, and I'm not going to stick around to find out. So that's what you're going to do. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this. So now that we know that guy, the culprit, was in Harris County, I'm going to look up Harris County court records and Harris County probate court records. That's where I would start. So, and I did that. I just Googled that and I found the county website. Okay. And I'm going to pull that up and show you exactly how I found this information that I included in the video yesterday, and how you can incorporate these types of searches when you're dating and when you're vetting potential partners. Okay. So Harrison County, Houston just happens to have both criminal and civil records all in one place. Okay. So let's use civil/family. So this is going to show like marriage records, divorce records. You always want to know, their marital status. People lie. Sometimes even, they may not even be together with their spouse. They could be separated, but still, they'll lie about being married, and you need to know that. So you want to search civil and family records and probate records. So that's what I'm going to do for this guy. So his name was Jeremiah Jones. So he's the defendant. I'm going to type it in this box. Last name Jones, first name Jeremiah. And this is all legal. This is all publicly accessible information that is online, that's visible to everybody. Okay. So here we go. So these are the Houston court records for anyone by the name of Jeremiah Jones. Okay. And this is why you want to gather as much detail as you can, like date of birth. That'll be able to help you determine who is who. You may want to figure out, hey, what's his ex's name, or what's the mother of his children's name? Let's say this was the mother of his children. Bingo. Then you can see that this guy has been married and had a divorce. So we see here, divorces are listed here. Paternity lawsuits are listed here. They even have motor vehicle accidents listed here. Protection orders are listed here, things like that. All of that is public record. Child support. There's a child support case here. So, you know, that person may be lying about children. You want to know all of that. And if he is transparent about his children and acts like he is a great dad, then you want to check these records to make sure that that aligns with what he's saying. So obviously, if someone has child support, is being sued for child support, and there's a legal document indicating that he's in arrearage, that's probably not the type of guy that you want to proceed with being in a relationship with. Okay. So that is just civil and family records. So again, you want to use this to find divorce records, marriage records. I've had several men back in Pakistan lie about being married, things like that. Even when I divested, I still incorporated these same steps on my husband just to make sure he was who he said he was. So you also, of course, want to look up his criminal history. And that's what I did with Jeremiah Jones. So he's a defendant. I'm going to type in his name, and this is going to take a second to pull up his information. And there we go. So you're going to want to know their age. You don't need to know their date of birth, but know their age. That way you can filter out what's what. So, of course, this is a common name, Jeremiah Jones. So there's going to be several documents listed here, but I know that that guy is 21 or 22, I think. So obviously, this first record is him because he's around that age. He was born in 1999. And we know this is him because it shows the capital murder indictment that recently happened from him taking out that woman's child. So here he is. So now I know his date of birth is July 26, 1999. So now I can click on this link, and Houston has it set up where anytime there is a lawsuit in their system, you can also pull up that person's criminal history. It's all linked together. If it wasn't linked together like that, all I would need to do is just remember that Jeremiah's date of birth is 1999, and I would just look through all of these records that show that same date of birth. That way, you know, I could see all of the cases, the criminal cases that involved this culprit. Okay. So, but they have it all streamlined and centralized in this nifty centralized place where they show that individual's criminal history. So, all the mother would have done is just look up his name, and then go to his criminal history, and she would have found all of this information. It's all publicly accessible information. So, here we see assault with a deadly weapon, evading arrest. He had terroristic threats, history of terroristic threats, several of them. Do y'all see this? Earlier this year, reckless driving, felony possession of a weapon. Back in 2020, burglary of habitation, out of state fugitive a few years back, theft, trespassing. And mind you, this dude is only 22 years old, and he has this mile-long rap sheet and committed all this criminal history. I thought as soon as he turned 18, but one of you guys pointed it out to me that no, he probably had a history of this degeneracy as a child as well. It's just hidden when they're children. It's just sealed records. So these are major red flags, and this is the type of information that you want to know and that you want to be privy to anytime you're meeting a new person, especially if you have children. So yeah, obviously if mom has saw that, she probably would have thought, okay, this man has a propensity towards violence. He's a degenerate. He has a mile-long track record. I don't need to date him. At the very least, I don't need to have him around my children. Okay, so this is what you do. Also, you want to look up property searches. So property records are public record as well. That's something that is publicly accessible. All you need is a person's address, or you can have their first and last name, and it will tell you, hey, is this person who he says he is? So he may be trying to stunt. And he may be acting like, oh yeah, I'm a homeowner, and or he may be just trying to stun on you. Oh, I own several residual properties. Well, guess what? All that information is publicly accessible and publicly available. And you can validate that, and you can see, man, that's just an Airbnb. You don't own that. You can actually see whose name is on the deed. So I'll show you how to do that. So in this case, I would just search Harrison County Auditor, or you can do a Google search of Harrison County property records. Okay, so here is the county website for that. Okay. And I'll show you how I did this. So again, you'll just need to know that person's name or that person's address. And this is available in every single county, okay? So I'm going to type in, I know his name. So let's say Jeremiah told her that he owned this plush house and lived in a penthouse and was just stunting. Okay. I'm going to see if you actually own this property that you say that you own. So all you have to do is type in their first and last name. So this is last name, first initial. So I'm going to do Jones J. And it's going to show me all of the properties listed with that criteria. So I don't see any Jeremiah Jones here. Do y'all? So that would tell me, okay, he's not a homeowner. He's lying. If you have his address, you can search the address and say, okay, well, Jeremiah told me he owned this nice property at 800 Main Street. Does he really own it, or is he just stunting for the gram? So I'm going to type in 800 Main to see if that's actually his property address. And this is just obviously a made up address that I'm using for demonstration purposes. So let's see what comes up. Okay, the person who owns this property is not Jeremiah Jones. So that would tell me he doesn't own this like he says he does. He might just be running an Airbnb, or it might be his own homeboy's place. I even tried to look up a celeb. So I tried to look up Beyonce Knowles to see, because y'all know she's from Houston, to see if it shows her property there. Yeah, she probably has it in a business name or something concealed so people can't just find her address. But this is how you do it, though. Okay, y'all. Also, some counties even provide police reports online, which is great. And I'm not sure if this is available in every county, but it's worth looking. Okay, because then you'll be able to see information, even if there wasn't like any arrests made, even if there wasn't a conviction or anything taken to court, you'll still be able to see anytime someone made a police report. So, and again, I was able to utilize that tool where I'm from to figure out, hey, your baby mama called the police on you because she said you broke into her home. So this is really, really useful. So I'll show you how to do this. And I don't believe this information is available in Houston. So I actually looked up the online search tool for Fort Worth, Texas. So they have an online tool where you can find police reports. So I'm going to look up John Smith, or maybe I'll just look up Jeremiah Jones, actually. And I'm going to, let me do from 2000 to 2022. Here we go. And I'm going to look up all reports with the name Jeremiah Jones in Fort Worth. Let's see if that pulls up anything. And again, this is Fort Worth. The guy is actually, he lived in Texas, so we probably won't find anything for him here. But I just want to show you guys how I would have done this during dating stages. All the men that I dated, you know, how I was able to make sure that okay, so here we got burglary building. So we know he a thief. We know Jeremiah Jones, the one that we were just talking about in that scenario, is a thief. So he very well may have traveled to Fort Worth and have committed burglaries and robberies there. So here's the police report, and this is how you would be able to find that information. So let's see, we're going to pull up that first report. And this was from November 2021. So I wouldn't even be surprised with his track record if he did take his black ass over to Fort Worth and took that degeneracy over there as well. So sorry, it's taking some time to load. Okay, so this is taking a long time and it looks like it's about to time out. So for time's sake, I'll just explain to you what you'll see here. So you'll see whatever the police officer captured on the police report. So it says burglary building / commercial building. The report would say something like, oh, this incident occurred on June 11th, 2021. Victim indicates that this person broke into this building. They shattered a window. Missing items are a laptop, a TV, blah, 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 blah. And it'll include all the details that were reported during that incident. So again, this is just something that's also extremely helpful. Like if there's no convictions, if it doesn't go to court, if there were no arrests made, this is something really, 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 really helpful because it'll still help paint the picture and add more color and context when it comes to what type of person you're dealing with. So again, this was really helpful for me when I was dating. So back in Blackistan, I met a guy and he talked about how his baby mama wasn't shit. She was a deadbeat and how she didn't take care of their kid. Well, I was able to use our county police report tool to find a police report where she actually called the police on him for breaking and entering and threatening her. So this is really, really helpful information that you want to be privy to anytime you're romantically meeting someone and anytime you have a prospect, a partner that you might potentially partner with. So okay. And of course, you after you do all this, you want to check their socials, their Facebook, their LinkedIn, their Instagram, everything. You want to check everything. Twitter. For instance, one guy that I dated back in Blackistan, I remember he had a clean background and everything, but I remember Googling his name and he had an old like Black Planet page or something really old. I can't remember if it was Black Planet or MySpace. And for you young ladies in here, you're probably not even privy to that. That was Facebook before Facebook was Facebook. But and he had an old one that he never deleted and had problematic posts on it, being a colorist. And so that was a red flag for me. I was able to look at that and say, oh, well, I'm a dark-skinned Black woman. And here he has a history of making colorist comments. I'm not interested in proceeding with him. So there you go. You want to check all of that stuff. Check all of that stuff to make sure that that person is who they say they are. And I did this with my husband. And I did this with my husband before we met and did this during the vetting process. And 7 years later, we were here because he's a good guy and he had no red flags. And so I was able to vet him properly and meet my husband. So again, this is how you vet. I hope this was helpful. This was highly requested, and you guys asked how to go about doing this. You want to do this anytime you meet a potential partner. Just make sure they're not married. Make sure there's not secret kids somewhere. Make sure, you might look up a criminal background search and just see no violence or anything where he harmed someone, but he may have a bunch of DUIs. That's a red flag. And those are things that you want to know because, okay, he probably a drunk if he got 3 or 4 DUIs on his background history. But hopefully that helps. Again, I'm thinking about making this a series. So anytime that we see instances where there's an issue of a Black woman or girl being victimized in this manner, we know it happens every 5.5 hours. I'm thinking about doing a series where I talk through that news story and then also talk through how, there are takeaways there and how the circumstances may have panned out differently if a Black woman started to incorporate these basic vetting steps. So, all right, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, relaxing weekend. Until next time, see you guys.